carrier Airborne Early Warning Squadron 126, nicknamed the Seahawks, is a carrier airborne early warning squadron of the United States Navy. The squadron is based at NS Norfolk, equipped with 4 E-2D Hawkeye aircraft. Squadron history: 1960s. VAW-126 was commissioned at NS Norfolk, Virginia on 1 April 1969. Originally nicknamed the Closeouts, the squadron was equipped with 4 E-2D Hawkeye aircraft, assigned to Attack Carrier Air Wing 17 aboard the US Forrestal. Following completion of the first deployment in July 1970, the squadron transitioned to the E-2B. 1970s. The squadron won the COMNAVAIRLANT Battle Readiness Efficiency E and the CNO Safety S award in 1971. The squadron won the Battle E a second time in 1974. In September 1974, the squadron transferred to US America. Following the return to NS Norfolk in October 1974, the squadron began its transition from the E-2B to the E-2C Group 0 variant. In August 1975, the squadron began operations in the Caribbean Sea with CVW-9, based at NS Miramar. In May 1976, they began the first of many trips, moving the entire squadron back and forth between NS Norfolk and NS Miramar to operate with CVW-9 and prepare for their upcoming deployment aboard US Constellation. The squadron made the second and final Western Pacific deployment with US Constellation in May 1978. The squadron changed the name to Seahawks in memory of the commanding officer, CDR Vaddy Clark, who died suddenly in September 1979. The squadron joined US John F. Kennedy and CVW-1 upon returning to the East Coast in 1979. 1980s. In July 1981, VAW-126 joined CVW-3, which replaced CVW-1 as the air wing deployed aboard US John F. Kennedy. The September 1983 to May 1984 deployment was a record-breaking one for VAW-126. In addition to receiving the 1983 Battle E, the squadron won the COMNAVAIRLANT Silver Anchor Award for Superior Retention and the Airborne Early Warning Excellence Award as the best VAW squadron in the Navy. The squadron departed for the Mediterranean aboard US John F. Kennedy a second time in August 1986. Upon the return in March 1987, the squadron participated in a variety of exercises including AMASSILEX off Brunswick, Maine and the VACAPESOPAREA Aegis support, along with drug interdiction operations. By November 1987, the squadron was back aboard US John F. Kennedy in preparation for the next deployment. In 1988, the squadron was once again rewarded the COMNAVAIRLANT Battle E Meritorious Unit Commendation, and won the CVW-3 and CAWWING-12 nomination for the Secretary of Defense Maintenance Excellence Award. In June, the Carrier Strike Group assembled for FLEETEX-2-88 and the squadron departed with US John F. Kennedy in August for its fourth deployment on board. 1990s. The squadron's final deployment attached to the US John F. Kennedy was in August 1990 for Operations Desert Shield and Desert Storm. During both operations, the squadron accumulated over 2,850 50 flight hours. On June 8, the squadron led a mixture of CVW-3 aircraft in a victory flyby in Washington, D.C. In late 1993, the CVW-3 team was reassigned to US Dwight D. Eisenhower and deployed to the Mediterranean with the US Eisenhower Battle Group in October 1994. The squadron were also awarded the 1994 Battle E and the Airborne Early Warning Excellence Award. In late 1995, the CVW-3 team was once again reassigned, this time to the US Theodore Roosevelt. In November 1996, the squadron deployed to the Mediterranean in support of Bosnian and Adriatic operations. While in the Adriatic, they provided ABC-2 AEW, and as in support of NATO air operations. In November 1998, VAW-126 deployed aboard US Enterprise for JTG 99-1. In its first few months, the squadron participated in Persian Gulf operations including Operation Desert Fox and Southern Watch. VAW-126 also participated in Juniper Stallion, INVITEX, and in Kosovo operations, transients the Suez Canal 4 times during the deployment. The carrier battle group wrapped up the deployment in the Persian Gulf and returned home the 6th of May 1999. From July to September 1999, VAW-126 participated in counter-narcotic operations based at NS Roosevelt Roads, Puerto Rico. The squadron, in cooperation with Joint Interagency Task Force, monitored and detected illegal drug suspects in the Caribbean. After returning from Puerto Rico, VAW-126 also assisted in air control for the massive search and rescue effort to rescue Hurricane Floyd survivors in North Carolina. 2000's VAW-126 deployed on board the Navy's newest aircraft carrier at the time, US Harry S. Truman, from November 2000 to May 2001. Their time was spent in the Mediterranean and Arabian Seas, flying over 850 flight hours in support of Operation Southern Watch. Squadron maintenance crews earned 2 Golden Wrench Awards while deployed. Following deployment, the squadron spent several weeks at NS Roosevelt Roads supporting counter-narcotic operations in the region. The squadron deployed aboard US Harry S. Truman with CVW-3 in December 2002. The squadron flew 100 sorties and over 445 hours in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. The squadron returned home to Norfolk in May 2003. In recognition of the year's accomplishments, the Seahawks were awarded the 2003 COMNAVAIRLANT Battle E, as well as the 2003 RADM Frank Akers Award for Superior AEW Excellence. In October 2004, VAW-126 deployed aboard US Harry S. Truman to the Persian Gulf for a second deployment in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. During this highly intensive combat cruise, the squadron flew 419 combat missions into Iraq, accumulating more than 2,000 flight hours in support of the operation. In December 2004, the squadron sent 2 aircraft from the Persian Gulf to Afghanistan in support of Operation Enduring Freedom for the inauguration of the first democratically elected president. This was the first time the Seahawks supported 2 separate campaigns simultaneously. The squadron returned home in April 2005. After the combat cruise in April 2005, the squadron were constantly on the go supporting the Fleet Response Plan. In September 2005, the squadron was called into service to perform rescue and relief operations in response to Hurricane Katrina, with over 150 aircraft operating over the devastated Gulf Coast at any given time, rescuing survivors and delivering much-needed supplies. Command and control was essential. VAW-126 provided the air coordination, staging out of NAS Pensacola, flying more than 46 sorties over a period of 18 days. In early 2006, the squadron transitioned from the E-2C Plus Group 2 aircraft to the E-2C Hawkeye 2000 platform. With improved systems and instrumentation, the new platform was soon tested in March when the squadron participated in a mini SFARP with VAW-126 and VAW-37 at NAS Key West, Florida. This exercise enabled the flight officers and pilots to familiarize themselves with the added capabilities of the HE-2K in the air-to-air operational environment. In March 2006, the squadron was awarded both the CNAL Battle E Efficiency Award and the RADM Frank Akers A Award for AEW Excellence for SI 2005, effectively naming them as the finest Hawkeye squadron in naval aviation. In December 2007, the USARES Truman transited the Suez Canal and began flights in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. The next 4 months included sustained operations over Iraq in support of U.S. Army, U.S. Marine Corps, and coalition personnel on the ground. In April 2008, increased insurgent activity in Basra, Iraq resulted in the squadron flying additional combat missions to provide command and control to coalition forces securing the city and ultimately defeating the uprising. Additionally, with the CEC-equipped cruiser a destroyer patrolling the northern Persian Gulf and acting as a relay node, the squadron were able to provide back to the strike group commander on the Truman in the central Persian Gulf a single integrated air picture, extending as far north as Baghdad, Iraq. Combat operations ended for the squadron on April 29 as the strike group prepared for the transit home. The squadron made final port visits to Rhodes, Greece and Marseille, France. After departing Marseille, the squadron hosted the Truman welcomed French Navy E-2C Hawkeyes for a day of carrier launch and recovery operations. The Seahawks returned home to NS Norfolk on June 4, 2008. 2010's VAW-126 completed a 2013-2014 Operation Enduring Freedom cruise with Carrier Air Wing 3 aboard the USARES Truman flying the E-2C NAV upgrade variant of the Hawkeye. In March 2015, the squadron participated in Joint Exercise Green Flag 1506 by providing airborne command and AMP control for the Air Force's 548th Combat Training Squadron at Barksdale AFB. In August 2015, the squadron left CVW-3 and were assigned to Commander Airborne Command, Control and Logistics Wing. In November 2015, the squadron participated in Joint Exercise Green Flag 1602 by providing airborne command and AMP control for the 548th Combat Training Squadron. In January of 2016, the squadron began the transition to the E-2D Advanced Hawkeye platform. In January 2016, they were awarded the 2015 Medical Blue M Award.